All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. Now, it is the NBA trade deadline today at like 3 p.m. or 6 p.m. or something like that. But there should be a whole lot of movement between players in the NBA. Now, for someone that doesn't know a lot about the league, doesn't follow the league, it might be hard to bet today because you might be looking at hit rates that look incredible. But if a big trade happens, that could totally shake things up. So we're going to be attacking some really good value. Going to be attacking some players that I almost can guarantee are not being moved. And that's kind of how I'm attacking the board today. But before we get into things, I always ask, can you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment anything down below? That really helps YouTube push this video out. And I think you're going to enjoy the content we bring over here every single day. So if you're new here, we're very transparent, or I'm very transparent. I show my wins, when we go 4 for 4, 5 for 5, and I show my losses. And yesterday was a 50-50 day, not the best in the world. Now, I will say the reads weren't horrible. Brandon Miller had about 5 minutes at the end of the quarter to get this and just didn't get there because Miles Bridges looked like Larry Bird last night. He shot the ball extremely efficiently. Honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't be passing the ball up either. But Brandon Miller just missed out because of that. And then if Miles Bridges for the Hornets was Larry Bird, Kyle Kuzma was Magic Johnson. He came out of the gates firing. He had like 25 points in the first half or something like that. It's funny because we talked about the last game that we went to his under, and he did the same thing. He had like 25 points in the first half, and then ended up getting his under because they got blown out. Now, the Wizards were playing much better. They lost this game, but Kuzma he barely got over. He had 34 despite such a strong first half. So not a horrible read on those two misses. And then Harden was a little bit sweaty, but got there in the end for us. And RJ Barrett got to his line pretty easily too. He was kind of on pace throughout the whole day. But yeah, always transparent, always show my wins, my losses. Anytime, any of the picks I give you guys, I show you them. I play them too. So I hope you kind of appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to do it. Another thing we do over here is we don't just give 2 picks. I love to give you guys 4 or 5 picks to pick and choose from, kind of see where my thought process is. And then if you want to play that play, go for it. If you don't want to play that play, if you think what I'm saying doesn't make sense, then you don't have to play it. But I like to give you guys options. And it wasn't a best day in terms of free picks. Again, 2 for 2, whatever you want to call it, 2 for 4. 50% hit rate, not the best in the world, but we did crush it in the Discord. Now, if you're not in the Discord, definitely check the link in the description. It's the last day that you can get 2 months free of the Discord. All you got to do is sign up using one of my codes to PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Dabble, or DG Fantasy. Once you do that, screenshot a picture of you like signing up using my code, and then DM me, and I'll get back to it pretty quickly, like this guy probably just did right here. I'm pretty responsive in there. I get to it as quickly as possible. But again, last day is tomorrow to get that 2 months. It's not going to be 2 months after today. And we killed it today. You can see all the green right here. We actually swept Sleeper and Underdog, and a whole bunch of solid wins on PrizePicks as well. I can actually just show you what we did yesterday. This one was a very annoying one because Sabonis hooked us. He had some missed shots down there in the first half, but we went to him in a different slip. I don't know where that one is. We went to him in a different slip right here for the full game, so that was nice. So definitely a whole lot of wins in the Discord yesterday, a whole lot of green, and we just continue to kill it. So definitely take advantage of that 2 months free promo that's going on. And again, today is the last day. But let's jump into value on the board here. We're getting a whole bunch of value again, just knowing that the trade deadline is coming up. Some players might be moved. That's how I'm going to be attacking this. And the first guy we're going to be talking about is going to be Draymond Green. And I'm actually going to go to his first half here. PRA at 9.5. Again, that's just something that seems really low. He's been scoring pretty well in the first half, first quarter, things like that. But he can get rebounds. He can get assists. He's a triple-double kind of guy. So this line just looks really low, and the hit rate looks incredible. So jumping over to Outlier, this was one of the first supporters, actually my first sponsor on the channel. So if you hit the link in the description down below, you'll get a free week trial to try this out. I'm sure you're probably going to love it and continue on with your subscription. But you get a free week trial to mess around with it. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. You can just go ahead and cancel it. But do hit that link in the description. It just lets them know that I sent you there. But this is Draymond's first half PRA, 9.5 right here, 79% hit rate on the entire year. Now, again, this is another one with the trade deadline in kind of play here. The Warriors probably should make some moves. And if 5 guys are not, or like, I guess not 5, but like 2 or 3 guys get traded and they're not active, that's just going to be more minutes that Draymond has to play. So we can see in his minutes right here, he plays everywhere from 10 to 16 minutes. it will probably be more like those 16 minutes if a few guys are missing from the roster due to trades. Now, this 1 minute game, he didn't get there because he choked out Rudy Gobert. He has some random duds. And he actually had a pretty big dud last time, but it's good to see that he pretty much always bounce backs from those and goes on to crush this line for a few games. So loving the hit rate. It looks incredible on the entire year, which is good to see. Almost an 80% hit rate on the year. Now, in terms of the matchup, it's also really good going up against Indiana. We can see that this is a 250.5 point total. That's one of the highest ones you're going to see. So there should be a whole lot of offense. Draymond might be passing the ball. Draymond might be having to score the ball. He'll be able to get rebounds. It's a high-paced game, so shots are either going in or they're clanking off the rim and having to get rebounded. So everything really, really looks good for this one. Now, I wish I could show you the market value over on DG Fantasy. I did go up and pull up Draymond's page on DG Fantasy. If you don't know what's going on here, it's pretty much showing you here's PrizePicks lines. This is what we're saying you should probably bet based on where every other sports book has their line. So like FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, they're saying, hey, bet the over on 11.5 points and rebounds because everywhere else has 12.5. So if you want to put that into your play, that one's good too. But again, I just love the hit rate on the first half PRA for Draymond, and it just makes sense to me that he'll have to play more minutes than he usually does. And hopefully we see like a 16-minute first half for him as opposed to like a 10-minute first half if they do go on and make some trades. So we'll go into some more plays in depth on this. If you've watched the channel before, you've seen me do that. But that's pretty much what this is saying. It's giving you market value, and we're getting a pretty good market value in terms of the first half. It's not going to show us exactly first half, but it's good to see that there's a lot of overs being favored here. Now, over on the RotoWire projection model, this is my favorite projection model out there. You'll get 2 days free if you want to try this. Also, 25% off your first month if you want to try DG Fantasy. All the links for this stuff is in the description. But this is RotoWire. It's a projection model, and it's loving to see that everything is favored on the over for Draymond. This is not first half. You got to remember that, but this is for the entire game. And obviously, if he's going to have a good game overall, they're projecting totally blue. For PRA, they're projecting 25.22 on an 18.5 line. So love to see that. You probably could just go full game. But again, I just see a little bit more value in that first half. So love to see the projections pointing in that direction as well. The hit rate looks incredible like we saw. The odds are not looking bad just because we can't look directly at them, but they look pretty solid. And Draymond's going to be our first play. And then I still do have 2 more PrizePicks plays for us, but I'm going to talk about now 2 plays that aren't on PrizePicks anymore. I posted them in my Discord, but they immediately got taken down. But it's good to have multiple apps. This is a great reason to have these other apps, and these are both still on Sleeper. So I'm going to pull the graphic up right now. They're actually matching your deposit right now up to $500. So if you go and put $500 in, if you got that kind of money, that's totally fine. They're going to match you. So you'll have $1,000 in your account to mess around with. But again, if you don't have that kind of money, you could put $10 in and they're going to match your $10. Also, in addition to that, if you go ahead and do this and you DM me on the Discord, I'll get you that 2 months free. This is the last day that the 2 months free promotion is available. So definitely try to get on Sleeper because that's where we're going for these next 2 picks. If you're not don't understand what Sleeper is, they are kind of like more like a sports book. So you're going to get access to lines that might not be on PrizePicks because they have too much of a good chance to hit. So like this Harrison Barnes line and Derek White line, they weren't on PrizePicks because the hit rate is incredible. The odds were like minus 145, minus 150. You typically don't see those lines on PrizePicks, but you are able to attack them on Sleeper. And I will show you that I played these. So also a little intro to the Discord here. All my slips that I play for each app are going to be right here. These are the Sleeper slips. I posted this a while ago, but it's going to be Tyrese Halliburton and it's going to be Jonathan Kuminga. I'll show you that they aren't on PrizePicks, and we'll talk about them. I'll try to be quick. This is getting a longer video, but I'll try to be quick on these. So we'll start with Kuminga, 27.5 PRA. He's been crushing that line. So Kuminga over here just doesn't have that line just yet. A couple lines popping up, his points, his whatever it might be, but just not his PRA just yet. But we can go over, check out his PRA. I've already got Halliburton pulled up, but let's go to Kuminga. We'll come back to Halliburton, and we'll see his PRA popping up. Let's go find that. We'll just jump into his page, and then we'll find PRA. Right here. So PRA at 28.5. Again, we're getting this at 27.5 on Sleeper. If I can even get the line. I guess we can't get the line. We'll stick at 28.5, but he's been crushing this. 9 of the last 10 games, he's gone over 28.5. Again, we're getting at 27.5 or on Sleeper, which is awesome. And they're also, again, going up against Indiana. So we talked about Draymond Green's PRA. we're going to go to Kuminga as well because this is going to be a ridiculously high scoring game at 250.5 is the point total. So should be a whole bunch of scoring. He's been one of the main guys, like almost over Steph Curry the past few games. And he's been crushing it. 28 points, 18 points. This was his dud, the 16-point game, but he's still pretty close. So the hit rate's incredible on this one. The matchup's incredible. And we can go to his RotoWire projection over here and see that we're getting, where are we going? Kuminga. We're seeing again PRA. Oh, it's not going to be popping up, but we can go to like a different sports book. Let's go to BetMGM. Kuminga at PRA 28.5. Again, we're at 27.5, which is even better. And we're giving it a 29.08 projection. So everything is on the over here. The hit rate's incredible. The matchup looks really good. And the projection model loves it too. So definitely get Sleeper. We're getting at 27.5 over there. So definitely attacking some value. And then our next play over on Sleeper is going to be that Halliburton line at 7.5. The hit rate on this is not looking amazing, but I think he's going to be starting playing a little bit more minutes. He's coming off a hamstring injury. He's probably still going to be on a minutes restriction, but I think he'll be able to play, closer to 30 minutes, which would be great. And he's the best passer in the league right now. But let's go to his assists. Again, I can't find it. We'll just pop into his page real quick. Go to assists right here, 7.5. 40% of the last 10 games. That's not something we typically go to. And again, look at the minutes. 13 minutes, 22 minutes, 22 minutes. Now he got that 29 minutes. So it's good to see that he is starting to get a few more minutes coming off this hamstring injury. And again, if Indiana goes out and makes a few trades and they're down a few guys, maybe he has to play a few minutes. But backing up, looking at the whole year, this is the type of guy Halliburton is. He's able to get 13, 23 assists in a game. So if he goes out, gets 29 minutes or 30 minutes in a game that's going to be a 250.5 point total. Again, I'm just attacking this game on overs. That should be looking really good, and he should be able to get a whole bunch of dimes. Now, the Golden State Warriors, in terms of giving up assists, they're 17th ranked to point guard, so about middle of the road. But again, if there's a ton of baskets to be had, he should be getting a lot of those assists. So loving Halliburton here. This is like the lowest we're going to see this line ever again. This will be creeping back up to 10, 11. Sometimes we saw this at 12 and a half. We might even saw this at 13, which is crazy. Maybe 14. He's insanely good at getting assists. So I love Halliburton here. I think he's creeping back. He's happy to be playing again. He is definitely not happy with having a minutes restriction, but he's young. He's willing to play through it, and he's looked good a little bit recently. So loving Halliburton here. And then in terms of the projection model, we can come over to RotoWire again. We do see that projection model is saying he's going to get 7.82, so slightly on the over, but it's not on the under, which is good to see. Everything is pointing in the direction, even if it's slight now. And it also, in terms of the odds, is favored as well. They're giving us a 1.72x on Sleeper to go over, and they're giving us a 1.83x multiplier to go under, which just means, hey, it's probably a little bit more favored to go over here. So love to see that. Everything pointing in the right direction for both of these guys. Again, that's the slip I posted over on Sleeper, and that's Halliburton and Kuminga. Both guys not going to be traded. I mean, the Warriors shouldn't trade Kuminga. He's going to be like the star of their franchise in the next few years, and then Halliburton's not going anywhere. So those are the first three plays. The next two plays are going to be on PrizePicks, and we're going to be talking Anthony Davis. I guess I had to move over to the first half tab again. It's going to be Anthony Davis. Going to be going to his 20.0 first half PRA. Now, this is an interesting one. We won't be able to look at the DG Fantasy odds just because they don't have first half just yet. I'm sure they will add it. But Outlier does have these stats, so we can see the hit rate and things like that. Let's go to Anthony Davis. Again, not going to be traded, but the Lakers probably will make some moves. And if a few guys aren't available, he should be getting extended run, 20 potential minutes in the first half here. So 20.0 PRA we're going to be going to. Hit rate looks incredible the past 10 games. He really crushes this line. In terms of 2023 as a whole, 61%. But again, kind of started off the year pretty poorly and has now really found a rhythm. Really since this game. I don't know if that's 20 games, but he's been absolutely dominant. And very, very consistent. So 75% of the last 20 games he's gone over this. Yes, he has a few duds, and yes, he is going up against Denver, a team that in the head-to-head matchup this year, he only had 19. Now, I'm kind of expecting him to grab a few rebounds. So if he's able to score like this, 17 points, and get more than one rebound, he should be fine getting this even against Denver. And again, if Denver goes out and makes a few trades, maybe they are missing a few people, a few key guys. And and that would make their defense a little bit worse. I'm not expecting them to make any crazy moves, but all I'm saying is the hit rate looks incredible, and I'm not too worried about the matchup. So that's nice to see on an AD line. Now, in terms of the odds, again, they don't have Anthony Davis first half lines. They don't have anyone first half lines, so I can't really show you much on here. But in terms of the projection model, I do want to show you guys over here that I don't think they are agreeing with me in terms of the full game. Okay, I'm still on sleeper here, but we have to take this with a grain of salt. This is the full game projection for PRA, points, rebounds, assists. They're projecting 38.95 on his 40.5 line. But again, we're talking first half. He does a lot of his damage in the first half. And I'm loving the opportunity here, especially if D'Angelo Russell might get traded. They've been calling him deadline D-Lo now for a while. If he is traded, AD is going to have to take a lot of those shots, and he's able to make them. So I like the first half here. The projection model doesn't love it in terms of the full game, but I think he can do some damage early. So loving AD, 20.0 PRA in the first half. And then finally, we're going to go to a guy that will most definitely not be traded. One of the best young stars in the league. I'm going to be going to Luka Doncic here. Points and assists over 42.5. Love a good old-fashioned Luka over. Really, all these guys are not getting traded. I guess Draymond technically could get traded, but they've been playing better with him. But yeah, Luka over 42.5. Love to see that. In terms of injury news, in terms of this game as a whole, let's go find the Dallas Mavericks right here. Kyrie Irving's probably going to play. With Kyrie, this doesn't look as good as it has been, but they're going up against a depleted Knicks team. I don't know if Jalen Brunson will hurt. If you saw him roll his ankle, it didn't look very good. They don't have OG Anunoby, the best defender, in wing defender in the league, probably one of the best. So that's good to see that he's out. And then Julius Randle's not coming back anytime soon either. So this defensive juggernaut team of the Knicks is very depleted, and Luka might have a field day going up against DiVincenzo or the backup point guard over there. So Luka over 42.5, even if Kyrie plays, I think he could still get here. But let's go over to check out his charts here. We'll go to Luka. 42.5, is that points and assists? Yes, it is. And we can see the hit rate, 80% of the last 10. Love to see that. Another one worth 20, 75% of the last 20 games. He gets very close to this, but he's consistent. And this is really getting skewed because of this 73-point explosion he had. And then with Kyrie, again, I don't hide anything from you guys. I want to show you everything. He is questionable. So actually, Luka's questionable too, but I think they'll both play. With Kyrie, this isn't as good. 42% hit rate on the year. But again, if the Mavs go ahead and make some trades, and there's not a few guys that aren't available for the Mavericks here, Luka should be having the ball in his hands a ton. Kyrie having the ball in his hands a ton, and hopefully he can get over here for us. So the matchup looking like red over here, but again, the Knicks are missing a whole bunch of guys. So this is a very much an odds play. The hit rate looks incredible, but we have to remember that Kyrie is in this lineup. This looks a lot better than what we were just looking at, but it's not horrible. It's around a 50% hit rate, even with Kyrie in the lineup. But the biggest thing here is going to be the odds on this one. So let's go find Luka's line over here. You can see that we're attacking some really good market value, popping up to his 42.5. It's his second best line. If you want to go under his rebounds and assists, that's quote unquote his best line right now. But I don't want to go under on Luka right now. But points assists, 42.5, we're getting a 52.28% chance to go over. Why is that? It's because every other sportsbook's favored this to go over at minus 125. FanDuel's already got this at 43.5, so that's good to see. And everyone projected on the over. Now, again, I like to finish my videos off on a a nice note that everything's looking really good. But the projection model doesn't love the Luka line. They're projecting his points and assists actually at 41.2 on a 42.5 line. So it's not like it's like 5 points below that, but it is slightly on the over or on the under here, which is against what I'm thinking. So if you're someone that strictly goes off projection models, maybe you don't go to this one. I wouldn't go under on it, but I definitely, if you don't want to do it, by all means, it's up to you. But it is a line that I'm really liking, especially if some crazy trades happen and Luka has to play 45 minutes or something. So yeah, those are 5 plays. We talked about 2 of them on Sleeper, 3 of them on PrizePicks here. Draymond, probably one of my favorite plays of the day, is going to be 9.5 PRA on the first half. Anthony Davis over 20 PRA in the first half, and then Luka Doncic over 42.5 points and assists. And then over on Sleeper, we took Tyrese Halliburton over 7.5 assists and Jonathan Kuminga over 27.5 PRA. Both of these were on Prize Picks when I initially put them in. That's where the Discord hopefully got them, or at least a few people before it got bumped. It got bumped so fast. It was kind of crazy. But they are still over on Sleeper. If you want to get Sleeper, sign up to any of my things. You'll get the 2 months free. So I will talk about that real quickly. If you don't have Sleeper, if you don't have Chalkboard, if you don't have Underdog, if you don't have any of those apps, you can go ahead and sign up using my code, and you'll be getting a free 2 months trial of the Discord. If you want to get access to any of the codes or links, they're all in the description down below. Or if you just click the link for the Discord, they're all right here, codes and links. And you just check those out. It's definitely worth it. We have a whole bunch of people in here that are always talking lines. We have some goats in here in terms of soccer picks. We have goats in here in terms of esports. Like Divine's been going crazy in here, so shout out Divine. Sal Picks is always active in here. So we got a bunch of people that are very, very active, and they know what they're doing. It's not just me. So it's nice to get access to all their slips. They share it, very kindly of them. But you'll also get access to all of my slips as well. So 2 months free. Remember, this is the last day that you can take advantage of getting the 2 months free. After today, February 8th, so on February 9th, like midnight or whatever, I'll make that cutoff, and then it won't be 2 months free. You'll probably still be available to get in some sort of free trial. But today's the last day to take advantage of the 2 months. So definitely consider doing that. Besides using any of my codes, I highly recommend getting on all the apps anyway. And that will do it for this one. So hopefully you guys got some value out of here. Again, 3 Prize Picks plays and 2 sleeper plays. And happy trade deadline. Hopefully some crazy stuff happens. And I'll see you guys in the next one.